Hello YouTube, MillenniumX17. Xbox reveals just finished up, and overall I'd like to say it's pretty strong. It's not quite the knockout, punch that it could have been, but it was definitely really strong stuff. So right now we got was it Jeff Keighley, I think his name is talking with I think it was Don Matrick, and they actually showed the console too. So pretty good stuff. So we're going to go over something. I'm hoping it's going to be brief, but we never know. They begin it with Don Matrick came out, talked about a lot of sales data and, the happy numbers with the 360 selling so well and all that good jive. They've officially confirmed the name of the console. Thank you. Oh my god. It is none of the ones that I don't think I've ever heard this one. Like I heard Xbox Infinity, what was some of the other oones? Just Xbox, the 720 is what we've been calling it forever. I never heard what they're actually calling it. It's called Xbox One. So, pretty interesting stuff. So, let's see. The look of the console itself. It looks very similar to the 360 right now. It's a little bit thinner, a little bit longer, and square. Which, okay, from what I could tell on stage, it was shiny black. That kind of thing that the new 360s are right now. So pretty good stuff. The Kinect sensor, same thing. It's been redesigned and all that jive. We'll probably get there in a second, but smaller, more square. The controller itself looks very similar to the old controllers, but it just seems oddly wider to me. I don't know. Maybe it's just looking at it for the brief second that they showed it on, the thing right, even though it's right there on the TV right now. Yeah, it just seems wider to me. I don't know, but we'll see what happens when we get more on it, but definitely pretty strong stuff there. So, let's see. Youssef Mendy came out, which I'm sorry if I mispronounced his name, but he talked about Xbox. Like, you remember how when Kinect first came out, it was about voice integration and that, and it really didn't work all that great? Well, he went through a lengthy demo, and it looks like it's working really good now. He also talked about how there's TV, live TV on Xbox. I'm guessing you're just going to have to plug in your cable, thing to the 360, or if it's from the DVR to the 360, or I don't know how that's going to work yet. That's still yet to be seen, but you can go through a lot of different TV features on, like live TV and such, with its own integrated menu, like a TV guide type menu system. Most DVRs and most TVs now have them as well, but it's now also integrated on the thing, and it also incorporates with both smart glass and the voice recognition, which he did it live on stage, and it seems to work not only very quickly, but fluid and responsive, and it didn't stutter at all. So very solid for a live stage demo on new tech that looked very promising. Confirmed that Skype is on Xbox now, which I have Xbox. Oh no, wait, Xbox One. I abbreviated. I was writing at 1,000 miles an hour, so it's, my usual chicken scratch nonsense, but, yep. Mark Whitten came out talking about how they're trying to future-proof the console, which that's always good. The stats. I tried to write them down as fast as I could, but it has a Blu-ray drive, so there is definitely that. There's 8 gigs of RAM. That is a significant step up from the 360, I believe, has 512. So that is a significant jump. 5 billion transistors. I don't know if that really means anything to anybody. I can't even remember if Sony said anything about it or not. But nonetheless, 64-bit native stuff, so it's pretty awesome. He also talked about the I'm so used to just saying the 360. Now, Xbox One has 3 operating systems running at the same time. There's one for, and I wrote them down. I don't know if it really is going to make much sense or mean anything, but they called it kernel of Windows, and there's an Xbox operating system, and then there's a third one that I don't think he named it, and it's just to tie those two together. Again, background technology, software that's running, I don't know if it really means much to anybody, but that's what there is. Let's see, there's a new Kinect sensor with every Xbox One. That is pretty awesome. From what we've seen, it does like Microsoft has a habit of improving and iterating on tech, and they more often than not get it right on the second try. The original Kinect for the 360 obviously was an experiment, and they've definitely, it seems initially from a first reaction, that they've learned a lot from their mistakes and are integrating with it. 1080p wide angle camera to begin with. has, I didn't write it down, but I remember they're talking about how it has a bunch of, you know, the operation, it's so many times per second, it's just some huge number to be able to see and realize everything in a 3D, you know, space that in a living room. Like, it's better and more improved than the original, which is definitely needed because the original kind of sucked. I disconnected mine and I don't even know where it is anymore. So, the new controller, built, they talked about how the components are, you know, this, that. The D-pad is the original type of D-pad that, even though, let me see if I can get my older controller over here real quick. And the old controller has, you know, this kind of, you know, it's, you know, all circular D-pad, not a usual type of D-pad. And then they came out with this one that had the, this one has the switchable, but there's a more direct, even though it still is a circular D-pad. When they showed it, the new controller has a older style, the kind that people apparently like for fighting games and such, that is just a, not a circle type, but just a left, right, up, down type of D-pad. There is no in-betweener direction. So that'll definitely make the D-pad more accurate, which is always a good thing. So, Smart Glass is native on Xbox One. Definitely a good thing. Even though I have yet to try Smart Glass, even though it's already come out for the 360, I've yet to try it. I would imagine it works for my phone, but either which way. They talked about Xbox Live being reinvented and reinvigorated for the new Xbox, which is now Xbox One. They talked about how when the original Xbox Live came out, it was only 3,000 servers, and then I missed the second number. I think he said 100,000 servers for 360. But now what I can confirm is that therefore Xbox One will be 300,000 servers running Xbox One. And that is more than the world's computing power, he said, in 1990, which I don't know how impressive that is, 1990. That's definitely an early year for computers. So, but still, all the same, just to power one service, that's pretty significant. So, well, the thing, talked about that. Then Andrew Wilson from EA came out and started talking about a lot of, excuse me, EA Sports is a big their thing. They're going to have a big partnership with EA, Microsoft partnership with the EA Sports program. FIFA, Madden, NBA Live, and I'm guessing UFC. I didn't write it down fast enough. I'm guessing it's UFC 14. You know, the next year's iteration of those sports games are going to be pretty big on Xbox. I would imagine some sort of exclusive content, I would imagine, would be coming. Nothing's confirmed yet. Though what they did talk about is that EA Sports Ignite engine, a brand new engine for their sports games coming into the next generation. It is going to improve AI, like how many times per second the AI can make decisions, their responsiveness, the way they act, the physics, the agility, and all that. It really, they're making it more lifelike. Is the long story short. So that's pretty good stuff. They talked about how FIFA 14 Ultimate Team will only be on Xbox One, and then they're like, more on that later. Okay. Phil Spencer comes out, and this is when it gets serious. Phil Spencer comes out, and it is confirmed that a launch title on Xbox One is Forza Motorsports 5. Oh yeah, I'm happy. Then they were like, more at E3. They showed a little trailer of it, and granted, it's a pre-rendered trailer, but from what I saw, the lighting and shading, the textures, the smoke and fog effects, wow, it was really good stuff. But then again, pre-rendered trailer, it looks impressive, but then again, when they do pre-rendered stuff, it's always more than what they can bring. I'll wait to reserve judgment until I see a live stage demo, but the initial first look on Forza 5 looks pretty damn impressive. Then they snuck in one of my favorite developers of all time. Remedy comes in. And I know a lot of people, the rumor was it's going to be Alan Wake 2, which that would make me happy. That would really make me happy. But no, it was not. It was in fact a new IP from Remedy, which I'm still very intrigued. It's called Quantum Break. And here's the thing. It's part live action, part, I don't even want to call it gameplay, but I guess more pre-rendered trailer. And Okay. It has something to do with, I'm guessing, time manipulation. I don't know what is going on. The trailer begins with this, like a wife and a daughter, and the wife is like, "Why are you so different?" And then the daughter's like, "You really want to know?" Which, I don't know what it is with Microsoft and their creepy little children. They just can't leave it alone. They gotta have at least one creepy child in every conference they do. It's like a need. They can't exist without the creepy but nonetheless, as it pertains to this game, it worked very nicely. So I'll give them the fact that it was nicely implemented, is what I'll say. But then she's like, "You really want to know?" And she kind of like reaches around behind her, and like, I don't know if she grabbed, like, the wife had like long hair or something, but like behind her, the ear or something, and all of a sudden it zoops to a pre-rendered trailer sequence of, you see this big container ship approaching I don't know if it was a container ship or an oil tanker or something of those type of caliber ships, and approaching a bridge, and it's the type of bridge that, lifts up so that it'll clear, but then the ship suddenly like transposes, like, this is why I'm thinking time manipulation of some sort, because the ship then suddenly just transposes forward and just crashes through the bridge, and it looks interesting. I don't know anything about the game, but you know what, damn it, it's Remedy. I'm intrigued to all hell. So no confirm about whether that's a launch title or not. I don't know. One can hope, but hey, nonetheless, it's got my attention in a big way. Next, and he says that there are 15 exclusives only to Xbox One in the first year. This is huge. The 360 over the last, I say, year and a half or so has really floundered in the exclusives only category, which leads me to believe that they've seriously been saving up. So that is kind of a good thing. Maybe not. We'll get to the maybe towards the end, but nonetheless, the good thing though, the thing that really makes me happy, 8 of those 15 are brand new IPs, and that is very important. One of the reasons why the 360 PS3 life cycle has gotten so monotonous and stale is because everybody keeps coming back with the same franchises over and over and over again. It's just like, Forza is one of those rare deals where, aside from Forza Horizon, there's not a new Forza game every, year or so, what have you. So it's very refreshing when it comes out because they've seriously iterated on it and worked on it in a big way. So, but either way, new IPs will definitely get the games industry back in the swing of things, and that's very important. So, Nancy Tellem came out, talking about, she was from the Xbox Entertainment Studio. This was a megaton announcement. She brought out from 343 Industries, Bonnie Ross, then announced that there will be a live-action Halo TV show. Now, normally that wouldn't really get my attention. The thing that really broke everyone's back is that it's being brought to us by Steven Spielberg, which, damn, that's pretty big. Whether you like him or not, he is a very talented director and storyteller. So, some of his stuff is great, some of it's not so much. Different cups of tea, all the same. Big news nonetheless. Then another big thing they did when they went to this big long thing about it's kind of like a kind of what I would call a staged interview between the NFL commissioner. I didn't write his name down. I couldn't write fast enough. But he was talking with Don Matrick, and they talked about how the innovation that the NFL brings to their broadcast. And they're talking about how they like to partner themselves with companies that bring innovation to the thing, and they're thinking that Xbox will be and Microsoft will be that thing. And then they announced that the Xbox, Xbox Studios and Microsoft will now have a partnership with the NFL, which, if you're big on NFL, then that's probably a big thing to you. I really don't care about football, so it doesn't really bother me either way. But nonetheless, an NFL partnership is a big thing in the entertainment industry. So even though I don't like football, it's still, that's big news in the entertainment industry. So anyway, this is when they came out with the little shitter tease that just, like, everybody was, like, on the edge of their seat waiting for it. I'm about to write it down, and he's like, Xbox One. And it was Don Matrick, by the way. Comes out and is like, Xbox One will be coming out later this year. And I'm like, you shitters, you fuckers, god damn it, why? You just... Like, little fucking teasers. I'm like, damn it, you had to do that? Really? Come on now. And then they were like, there's going to be more at E3. Which, yeah. That's to be expected. COD will be extending, Activision will be expanding the Call of Duty exclusivity with the DLCs on Xbox first. Through, continuing it is what I should say. The DLC will come out first on Xbox One, and then probably a month or so later on Sony's platform, and then, who knows when it'll ever come out on PC. But nonetheless, that DLC exclusivity will continue. Eric Hirschberg came out from Activision, CEO of Publishing, talked about Call of Duty Ghosts. Yeah, it was the big one that everybody knew was coming, and they saved it to the end. It is developed by Infinity Ward. Be interesting to see how they do on this. They went through a lengthy behind-the-scenes kind of thing with Call of Duty Ghosts during the development and how they wanted... Like, Eric Hirschberg said himself that they could have very well done the easy way out and just did Modern Warfare 4 and, shoved it out and been good with it, but they didn't want to do this. So they're talking about how it is a new story, new characters, a new engine. Oh, and a dog. There's a dog. Did Peter Molyneux work on this in any way, shape, or form? I don't know, whatever. They went through a lot of the different things they're talking about. Again, pre-rendered stuff always looks better, but the lighting, the shadows, the textures, everything looks like the character models, really stunning stuff. Like, they did a comparison between Modern Warfare 3 and Call of Duty Ghosts, and the improvements in the character shading is just... like every new thing, you gotta have some, like, during the Sony conference, they had to have some kind of creepy, strange, close-up facial thing of, somebody, and then they went one step further and did a really super close-up and look at the scars and how close we can model the arms. It's like, what? Why do they have to have the awkward moments? It just doesn't, whatever. This is big, though. One thing that they did confirm is that a new feature for Ghosts, which it's been done in other games, but not in Call of Duty, that's pretty damn big thing. So the first thing that they think is you could post up to cover and then lean out and come up to cover and then lean out of cover, kind of like, and then that's pretty interesting. So there's that. There's also now it's not really... I do not know whether or not the dolphin dive will be in or not, but what they did say is that there will be a slide feature, kind of, I think Mirror's Edge type stuff. You run up and then you just slide down and then you're shooting. So, I don't know, maybe that will be the dolphin dive for Ghosts, maybe there will be a dolphin, I don't know, but nonetheless, an interesting little addition, probably going to be used for trolling, but hey, what are you going to do? Dynamic multiplayer maps. They talked about how the maps will be dynamic in the fact that in a destructible environment, like different types of like events that will happen. Like, for example, on the original Black Ops, the map launch, mid-map, mid-game, that rocket would take off. They're running with that theory, and like there will be earthquakes in the middle of this, different other types of events that'll happen during multiplayer. Very dynamic. I don't know how that will be received. The game will either auto-troll people or it'll just be used as a strategy implement. It will be strategy nonetheless, because like during that rocket launch, the B flag is you can't go in that area underneath the rocket. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. So let me flip the page. Yada 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 yada. They did a pre-rendered trailer running on Live Tech, the actual Xbox One tech. I don't know if it was an actual Xbox One, but they had the pre-rendered trailer running on Live Tech, which, don't know how impressive that is. Maybe slightly more impressive, but whatever. Call of Duty Ghosts looks like they're trying something, and I gave props to Treyarch for trying something, so you know what? Benefit of the doubt. We'll see where it goes. So that is the Xbox reveal event. And overall, I would like to say, like I said, it's strong. Not quite the knockout punch that it could have been. Definitely some points they did better than Sony. They said it was coming out later this year. Not surprised. It has to. There's no way they can miss this holiday season. So, and they did not mention a price in any way, shape, or form. So, I think they they're going to wait and try to force Sony to decide for themselves, because within the span of a couple of hours you can't really change too much. So they're kind of boxing Sony and enforcing the fact that they have to, you know, decide on the price for the PS4 in comparison to now the Xbox One, which will be interesting because remember, from the Xbox to the 360, they went from Xbox to 360 because it was the PS3, and it was the theory that, you know, oh, if it's the Xbox 2, it might not seem as advanced as the PS3, you know, it's like something like that. Now all of a sudden they're flipping that entirely. Let me turn off this TV. Freaking holy hell, that was some blue light. But now the theory, apparently, I guess now it's PS4 and now Xbox One. So they're throwing that theory out the window altogether. Well, you know, how much stock do you really put into a name? We've had that discussion 100 times on VGB. But nonetheless, a strong press conference, shorter. It was an hour. Maybe they ran over by a couple of minutes. Very concise thing. That was one thing about the Sony conference that I did not like, was that it kind of dragged a little bit. They kept it moving. They kept it going. Not that many games. They got the, you know, the tech and a couple other things out of the way. So come E3, they will be talking a lot about games. So I don't know if it'll be all games. Probably not. But nonetheless, they will be able to really, you know, they won't be able to bore you with the numbers, is what I hope. But nonetheless, only time will tell, you know, only time will tell, as it always does. So, yeah, that's about all there is on that subject. I'm jazzed. Sandy next to me is kind of sleeping, so he really doesn't care which way. But, yeah, E3's in 3 weeks, or 19 days. They actually ended the conference. They put up, you know, at the end of the Call of Duty trailer, they put up a countdown time, which I imagine there's some website to go look at it. You know, 19 days and so many hours and on down the line to seconds, and it's counting down. So I imagine that website's out there somewhere. So, you know, as always, E3, you know, it's looking like it's pretty big. So, that's about all there is on that. So, until next time, guys, have yourselves a good day.